Thank you so much for joining us in our next episode of Winners Wednesday. Today, you can probably recognize some of our very special guests. We've got JB Hopkins from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Ruben Garcia from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
I will tell you. So, we've done a couple of these, and we're getting such great feedback that we've committed to having these on a regular basis. So, a lot of great content headed your way. So make sure you stick around. Today's topic, we're going to be going over how to avoid burnout in 2022. So, what do we mean by that? As we all know, the market was crazy last year. 2021 was a very interesting market, interesting year for those of us that are in real estate. And in talking with a lot of agents, I've noticed that's the biggest thing is agents are tired. They've been burned out, and we're kind of forecasting a very similar year. So what are some of the tips and tricks that you guys do, JB and Ruben, in order to make sure that you're going to avoid burnout in 2022?
Go ahead,
Ruben,
JB.
take it away.
Oh, you want me to take it away? All right. So, I mean, I think that's pretty simple, right? Or for me, something I look at to make sure we're not burning out. And some of my people may be already watching this and be like, I already know what he's about to say. And that is being very, very structured with your time. Have the calendar built out for next year. I mean, the thing is, right, like the way that you start getting burnout is you start to move into doing a lot of work that maybe necessarily isn't filling you up anymore. Right? It's just burning you out, and you start to ignore other people in your life, and you just start to get this weight that's just weighing down on you. Well, my friend, that's your fault. You can change it. So all you have to do is go back into your calendar and put your priorities in first, and that's family, right? That's hobbies, that's working out, that's vacations. All that stuff should go into your calendar first, and I bet that might help with some of your burnout.
I love it. I like the emotions there. And Ruben, by the way, I'm the same way. I have my kids' stuff on my calendar, and everything is color coded, so I know what's personal, what's work, what's kid related, what's a doctor's appointment.
That's
so
right.
is that kind of what your calendar looks like as well?
Yeah, red's business, green is bank stuff, and purple is my family. Yep.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
we do the same thing on our team. We're very, in fact, I set my calendar up for the year, the month. There's repeating standing meetings in there, and one of the things that helps me to stay on track with what I'm doing for that week is I sit down every Sunday night and I mentally go through my week, and I make sure that if there's anything I can prepare for, I do that. But time blocking is huge. I've done that for years, and it really does help you to stay on track.
So what would you guys say? I mean, obviously we all know that we need a time block, but I would probably argue that not very many of us do it and actually implement it on a regular basis. So what are some of the things that you guys have implemented in your business to make sure that you time block?
Well,
that's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I mean, things just go in the calendar. There are standing meetings that I have every week, and those go in. And I think one of the things, I was at the mastermind in Puerto Rico, and Veronica said this, and it was one of the most profound things that I've heard is so many times we put things in the calendar, but we don't take things out, and we leave no margin for ourselves. So as I'm putting things in the calendar, I'm also making sure that I have margin in my day to breathe, to think, to be creative, to ponder certain things in my business, or, just whatever. And then I schedule my family time in. That is just as or more important than what I'm doing in my business. So it's just putting it in there and then making sure that you're following it day by day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I actually do that. If I know that there's a project that I'm working on or something that I really need to focus, because anybody can go to my Calendly and basically add to my schedule, I block it out. And so these are the things. And then I'll put inside the calendar the 10 things or whatever it is that I want to work on during that time. That way I'm not distracted. Ruben, I know that, just like us, you live by your calendar. What are some of the tips that you have?
Yeah, I think, one of the first things, and obligations, right? So I said hobbies, your family, blah, 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 obligations too. And that's one of the first things that really made me stay structured within my calendar, is because, you know, everyone out there, raise your hands for the ones who have let themselves down before, right? They make a promise to themselves and then they don't execute on that promise. Well, the thing is, something that we've decided to do is attach a PC to everything we say we're going to do. The P is a promise to somebody else. So if, for example, you want to do date nights with your significant other, you bring them in to the conversation. You ask them, hey, how often do you want to go on date nights? You bring in your kids. How often do you want family nights? You bring in your team. How often do you want to do lead generation, right? Because we let ourselves down, but it's harder to let our team, our family, and the ones that we love down. So we make a promise to them, which is the P, and then the C, we attach it to the calendar on when we're going to get it done by. So that's been like a huge accountability for me. It's just to rely on my word to other people to make that promise.
That's interesting that you say that, because I actually call it social accountability. And I'm the weird one that will like go put it on Facebook before I even know how to do it. Right. Because I want everybody to hold me accountable that's what I'm going to do. I've literally put out there before, hey, I'm going to write this book. It's going to launch X date. This is, years ago, and I didn't even know what the heck I was doing. So, hey guys, if you're watching this live, go ahead and comment below. Let us know, as Ruben put here, let us know what questions you have, and hopefully we can answer them on today's session. So time blocking is obviously important, living by your calendar, and then making sure that you're adding family in, that your personal and your professional goals are in alignment. One of the things that I found that has been, really, really a key to our success over the last 15 years is what I like to call meeting of the minds. And so Hamudi, my husband, and I have done this faithfully, where we go over our goals, not quarterly, not annually, not once a month, literally every single day. And I was actually, I started a book. I think, Ruben, you've already read it, Miracle Morning. And it's interesting because I was already doing a lot of the things and didn't realize the things that they suggest in order to create that millionaire mindset. And so for me, meeting of the minds is literally 1 hour meeting every single morning. We sit down, we have our coffee, we talk about our goals. We make sure that we're in alignment, that we're doing the activities in order to reach those goals, and then what we're going to accomplish for the day. And then we hold each other accountable. So do you guys have anything that you do on a daily basis similar to that to hold yourself accountable? Because as Ruben said, we often put ourselves last, and we can lie to ourselves and let ourselves down.
For me, I have a good friend of mine that holds me accountable. Like we talk on a weekly basis about our goals, and we just check in with each other. And she's like, did you work out today? Did you get, X done today? And I do the same. I think having those kind of people in your life are crucial to success. You've got to be held accountable. Ruben holds me accountable. So does Ruben's my coach, and he is like, did you do this? Okay, well, you're going to do it. So, so I think it's very important to have accountability, whether it's your friend or a coach or your spouse or, just somebody in your life so I have a frequent check-in with various people.
Nice. I like that frequent check-in.
Mm-hmm. I get called out if I don't do what I say I'm going to do.
Which we all need that, right? So that's interesting. Ruben, what's your go-to?
Yeah, I mean, same. I do have my accountability groups, or the meeting of the minds, to where we do discuss each other's goals and all of this. I will say, with some of these masterminds or these meetups, it's all goal and actual first, right? So it's all numbers first, right? It's like, what did you say you were going to do? And then what did you actually do? And so that way we could weed out who's really serious, I guess, in that moment. But something I do is another social proof to everybody, which every single morning, I go, what's up, everybody? This we're going to see this. It's a beautiful day. And today we have 12 meetings, 2 coachings, blah, 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 right? Every single morning on Instagram within my stories. And that is social proof, right? Social proof. And where I guess everybody will hold me accountable to those meetings. So yeah, I do that every single day. I want people to hold me accountable to that, for sure.
And it's at 4:44 in the morning, by the way.
Yeah. It's,
yes.
Beat the sun.
Beat the sun. I love it. So I'm assuming if you don't post that one day because everyone's used to it, you're probably going to get a lot of messages. And what's going on? Where are you? Are you alive?
Yeah, I didn't do it this morning, and I was already getting heck for it, right? I mean, I woke up early. I just didn't do the picture of the ground because it's dark, and then the screens. I didn't do that, and I got it. Yeah, I got it for sure.
Got
Yeah.
some heat.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you talked about goals, and I think, another thing that is really important to avoid burnout in 2022 or really just any year is to have clarity and set clear goals. What are some of the ways that you do that, and have you changed what you've done in the past?
Ruben, you want to take that one?
Yeah, first I'll say, Michelle, what's up? Engaging like crazy. I love it. Get your team on board to this video. Let them know that you're out here and you're learning and you're not letting down an opportunity to learn. So awesome. Yeah, I think, it's a two-part series, I guess, right? So if somebody says, and this is what we've heard, right? I want to make $100,000 this year. I want to make 6 figures this year. That seems to be one of the big ones, right? Mm-hmm. So then I like to do 2 things after that, which is 1, what's important to you about 6 figures, right? Just get serious on that. Like what you might find is that it's not 6 figures that's going to help you be to the position that you want to be in, right? Mm-hmm. It might be 60, it might be 70. Maybe you're just throwing it out there because society says 6 figures is an awesome thing, which it is, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, if that might not fund your why. So just get serious on, what about that number is important to you anyways. And then at that point, start chucking it down. If it is 100K, then divide by 12. You got 83, right? That you need to make a little over 8,000 a month. Well, if you need to bring that home, how much do you need to gross, right? Because there's splits with companies, there's expenses. So let's say you need to gross 11K. Okay. Well, how many closings do you need to do 11K? And you back it all the way down, at least what I like to look at, to contact attempts. And then you just do 50, 40, 30 contact attempts a day. And by doing that, and that being your one thing for the day, you're able to hit that 6-figure mark. So why is it important, or what about that number is important to you? And then chunk it all the way down to a daily activity.
I love it. So what I'm hearing is you're basically reverse engineering your numbers to get to, the number of what you need on your daily activities.
Yeah, because some people look at that 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure and just be like, man, I don't know how that's too big. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Like, what am I going to do? So you have to chunk it all the way down to a daily activity. And then what do? Right? If it's 40 contact attempts, then what do? Pull out your calendar, make a promise to someone that you're going to do it, and then you attach the PC and you do it from 9 to 10, 11 to 12, 4 to 5 or whatever. But you made the promise to somebody, you've added it to the calendar, you chunked it down, and you know why it's important to you.
I love it. I love it. JB, what do you do?
Well, something very similar. So, every November, our team has kind of like a goal setting day where we just set our goals and our intentions for the next year. What we do is we set 3 to 4 goals. It could be more, whatever, but we set goals. And then we break those goals down into strategies. And then those strategies become actionable items we put in our calendar, so that, and a lot of those are standing. So then every week we're working towards our goals. So I think in order to know what to put in your calendar that's going to get you to where you want to go, you have to really break down those goals into the how. And so we spend a lot of time doing that. And so my day and my week, my month is really filled with, these are my goals for 2022, and here's all the action items that's going to get me there. So we do that. I've done this for a few years now, probably 3 or 4, and my team has done it for about 2, and it's great. It gives us an action plan.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And even back to what Ruben said with your why, as you guys know, I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan, and he says that your why must make you cry. You've got to really figure out, I know that sounds a little cliche for some of us, but you've got to figure out why that's so important to you. And I think that's the thing that I'm hearing consistently between the both of you. So speaking of tracking, so we've set our goals. Now, how do we track them? How are we, break the day-to-day grind to make sure that we're doing those daily activities in order to reach that big goal? What are some of the systems that you guys have put into place? Ruben, I'll let you go first because I know that you're a numbers guy.
Yeah. Big numbers guy. I love numbers. I hated numbers. By the way, for anybody who is like, ugh, numbers, ugh. Same. I totally believed in that concept of screw numbers. I'm going to wing it and watch things work out anyways. But it was forced down my throat. It was forced, and I'm glad it was, because there is a language in numbers. Numbers will tell you where you need to focus, where you don't need to focus, what your conversions are. So maybe you need to do a little bit better in different situations and all this and all that. So what do I do every single day? That. Kind of annoying that looks.
You're hurting my eyes. No,
I know. So I talk about, write down the stuff that you need to track. So I've got my contact attempts. I got 2 different types: contact made, different appointments that I want to set, different organizations I want to work with, and even I'm tracking my RV, because we're renting out an RV. How many people we're talking to about the RV? Then you need a landing pad, right? So like, it can't live here because this can be destroyed by fire, water, my 3-year-old, right? So you need a place to put it all. Some use CTE, right, which is a tracking system. I use Excel spreadsheets as well, but it's all got to live somewhere. And for me, that's been the easiest, is just writing it down as I go along, just little tag marks. But then you need the landing pad. And I do it every single morning. Like 4:45 this morning, I look at my numbers, I add it to the Excel spreadsheet, and then I'm done. That conversation is there, and maybe I can look at month over month, year over year numbers to figure out where I need to work on and what do I need to do a better job at. But I'm very much in love with numbers now, for sure.
Wow, that's powerful. Guys, if you're watching this and you like what we have to say here, go ahead and like or comment, or even, do that heart button. So let us know. Let us know what systems you guys are using, because I do believe we can all learn from each other. JB, how are you with your numbers, and what are you using to track?
So, well, Ruben is making me better. I am definitely not a numbers person. I do track things, but I don't do it in a number sense. But I am getting better, and it does help. He's absolutely right. I'm tracking all aspects of my business. I'm having my agents track. It does help. So I'm getting there. It's a different mindset for me because I've not done it. So I'm definitely learning.
Hey, you're putting in your numbers on our Friday calls.
Yeah, I'm tracking. I've got my little notebook with my little tick marks, and okay, I talked to these people, and it's just a different mindset. It's just creating a new habit. And right. So if I want to be the most successful, I want my team to be the most successful they can be. And so if we need to track our numbers in order to do that, then that's what we'll do. So I'm getting better.
I'm like it. And I'll have to share with you guys mine. I mean, I won't show it too much because it's got names on there, but I literally write down who I'm speaking with every single day. And then just like you guys, from there, it goes to a spreadsheet, then it lives into our CRM. So there's an evolution. JB, I appreciate you being transparent with us that, this is something that you're new to and you're implementing into your business, because that really goes to my next point, if you will, about avoiding burnout in 2022 is personal development, which I believe is really, really important, because in order to get to that next level, in order to reach a level that we haven't before, we have to change something about ourselves and in our business. So what do you guys do to make sure that you're constantly evolving and turning into the person that you want to become?
So for me, this is a goal for me this year. So I simply have it in 2 30-minute time blocks in my day in the morning. So that is, I do my devotionals, and I'm reading a book in the morning, and then at night I am listening or reading at least 30 minutes of a book that's going to help me, or taking a training or something. So I just have 2 30-minute time blocks Monday through Friday to keep me on track with personal development. I think that is so critical to success, is constantly evolving and learning and getting in conversations with different people and just learning it's one of my favorite things to do.
That's awesome. I love it. How about you, Ruben?
Yeah. So I'll just tag on a point that I totally missed on the tracking side, is that once you do track and you've identified the things that work within your business, then it does help you avoid burnout, because all you do is focus your time on the thing that's having the highest return instead of trying to do everything. And numbers will point you in that direction and keep you from burning out, right? Or not. There will be times where you're like exhausted. It won't keep you 100% from burning out, but it would definitely help for the personal development side. And you know this as well. Actually, both of you know this, is that I have really started focusing on events. So I built an Excel spreadsheet, bringing my people to events to help them excel too. But that's been huge for me in terms of personal development, is going to events and rubbing elbows with people who are doing it at a high level, and talking with them. What are their strategies? What's working for them? But once you put money to a commitment, travel and everything else, you're way more committed to getting what you wanted out of that event, which I got a YouTube video on that, 12 ways that you can maximize events. But that's what I do every single time. So big push. I went to a lot of events last year, but this year I made an Excel spreadsheet and I'm keeping track and the conversation. So that's huge for me this year.
Build a spreadsheet around events.
Do what?
And then you made me build a spreadsheet around events.
Yeah, it's in the Google Drive folder for sure. Yep.
That's awesome. And it's, personal development is just one of those things that I think we underestimate. And, oftentimes we talk about, oh, we want to make 6 figures. We want to make 7 figures. We want the jet. We want the yacht. It's really not about those things. It's about the person that we have to become in order to accomplish that. Right. And so for me, I try to multitask. I set my personal development time when I'm doing my walk in the morning. So now I'm listening to a new book while I'm doing my walk, while I'm getting ready. So it's really not taking time out of my day. And I'm a firm believer in trying to multitask. So with that said, I think we brought some great points today. As Ruben and both JB mentioned, this is trying to avoid burnout. We can't completely get rid of it. But there are things that you can do to avoid it and hopefully make it a little less challenging. And some of those things, just to kind of recap: time blocking, setting clear goals, whether that's having a meeting of the mind, setting your daily goals, having some clarity around that, personal development, tracking your numbers. Is there anything that you guys want to share as just maybe some closing words, or maybe something we didn't touch on?
Yes. Okay. Yes. In case JB was like, yeah, I got something. It's just, I think, and something I missed this morning because my CRM failed me this morning, so I had to dive back into it. However, I believe in kind of what you just said, where you go walking. I think releasing some of the stress and some of the frustrations and all the stuff that's kind of floating around in your head, and releasing it in a workout. I think working out either in the morning, which I do the morning, and it exhausts me in a way where I'm not hyper for although I know my energy is crazy, but I'm not like,
Ruben's not hyper? What?
Yeah. It clears my mind, and it helps me avoid feeling that burnout throughout the day by just exhausting my mind and my body in the morning. It preps me to be a little bit more chill and focused, and I can almost delegate even better. But I would say don't ignore the fact that you're going to work out. And by the way, like, if you're working so dang hard to create a cool life, then it makes sense that you should enjoy it forever, right? So that means take care of yourself. If you grind for 10 years and you're going on vacations and you're going on cruises and but you're not healthy enough to enjoy the vacations and enjoy the cruises, what's the point? So, I think that's huge, and shouldn't be ignored either.
And by the way, for those of us that are not as hyper, just working out just even a little bit, 20 or 30-minute walk, whatever it is in the morning, that just helps elevate those energy levels. So it doesn't have to be this big extravagant workout, but just get the blood flowing and the brain moving, if you will. The brain moving, the brain thinking, whatever.
And you get leads at the gym, guys. Yeah. So you still make money at the gym.
Yeah. And I don't have anything new. I mean, we've already kind of talked about it, discussed it, but I feel like it is so important. Like, I think this is missed in a lot of agents' routine, is really, really getting clear on your goals. To me, getting clear on your goals, it's like plugging in your destination in the GPS. Like, if you don't know where you're going, you can make a lot more progress, I feel like, when you know where you're going and you're kind of setting up a strategy on how you're going to get there. I think that's really missed. For years, I was not really intentional about setting goals. About 2017, I went to a class, and it really changed my life when I got really clear on my goals and stuck to them and worked on them every day, every week, every month. I think it's really important.
And I love that, because we wouldn't drive, or at least I would hope we wouldn't drive across country without some kind of guide, a map, a GPS or something. So why do we treat our businesses any different? One thing that I want to note here is, when you set clear goals and you put all the tracking and everything in place, just as if you're going to drive across country, you have to allow for detours, right? Ruben talked about, he had a detour this morning. That's going to happen. So you do have to be prepared for that, because as much as we try to plan and have everything in place, there are going to be detours. So you need to just be able to pivot like that, right? So think about it as you're driving, set the GPS, have those points, but allow yourself for a detour.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll say my detour went like that. It was man, screw today. This sucks. You know, like, and then I was having technical difficulties with you guys. Remember, I even text JB because I was like, my other number's not working. But you have to keep the momentum has to be there, even if it is a smaller grind and step. The momentum for sure has to be there. But I'll go back to like what JB was even saying, is like that getting clear on her goals was huge to her, and figuring out what that looks like. You know, I think that aligns with a lot of who your environment is too, because the environment at the time for me in terms of numbers was like, screw numbers. Let's wing it. We can do this. Right. That was my environment. And as soon as I went into a different environment where I was leading a franchise, they were like, no, you ain't winging nothing. It's going to be numbers and accountability. And it was forced on me, but it multiplied me. So, you know, identify your circle, identify what they're saying. And is what they're saying today where you desire to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? If not, change your circle and be okay with that. Be okay to say no. And that, I think that'll start helping you get clear and be okay with loving numbers, and be okay with finding your northern star and moving forward when your whole circle is challenging you to level up.
I mean, what's the saying? If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Yeah. I know for me, I'm very, very intentional in who I talk to, who I spend my time with, you know, especially for long periods of time. So unfortunately, I've had to kind of evolve into the person that I want to become, and change those circles, if you will. It doesn't mean I love anybody less, but it has to be in alignment with what your goals are.
Right. And maybe that's something else that I would add that we really didn't go into great detail about, is get in a good environment, protect your energy. And I mean, really look at the people that you're around. I mean, that is very important. That your energy, that can burn you out in itself if you're around the wrong energy. So I think that's very important, to be mindful and intentional what room you're in, what circle you're in.
I think that was the perfect closing to this. So the number one thing to avoid burnout is look at your environment and look at your energy levels, because we could be doing all the right things, but if our energy is not right, let's be honest, none of this matters.
Yeah, so it was over like a Mack truck. It really. So I'm very intentional with the people that I surround myself with and the environment that I'm in. I take on energy, and it's too, I think everybody does, but it will destroy me.
It destroys all of us. And that's what, one of the things that we coach and train on quite a bit is, your energy is really going to be a direct reflection, honestly, of your success. Because if I'm pitching a buyer or a seller or a new client or an agent, whatever it is, and my energy is low, it doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth. It doesn't matter what kind of product I'm selling. And that's for anything, right? Or even a spouse marrying, asking their spouse to marry, would you marry me? It sounds like a good idea, right? So your energy is everything. And I would almost argue, to close this out, 80% of your success is probably going to come from energy. So if you get anything from any of this, I think that was an excellent way to close this out. I want to thank you both. I know that you're both super busy in giving back and helping other real estate agents, really follow your footsteps and find the clarity in their goals and things, because we all know that this is a very lonely industry. So I want to thank both of you for giving back and helping other real estate agents. We're all on social media, so if you want to talk with one of us individually, I believe we're all on Facebook, Instagram, all the norms. So go ahead and reach out and check back in. We're going to do this monthly. So what is it? Second Wednesday of every month, we're going to have these episodes with the same crew, same awesome crew. So we'll show you what's to come up next. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Micah.
Thank you. Bye.